Time to get going. It's time to get going. Week 3 is underway. Week 3 is underway, and we got a whole lot to do. We got a whole lot to do. We got a whole lot to achieve. That is for certain. Absolutely 100%. I don't know if anyone is hurting more on their roster than ya boy. It could be me. What up, Juju? What up, Juju? How we doing, boss? Free flyer, my dog. Niners free flyer. We are up. Kind of. Tearful, what's happening? Nasty, what's happening? You're the GOAT. You're the GOAT, Nasty. You're the GOAT, Nasty. Man, I don't know what's going on, but I got freaking fruit flies coming out the sink or something. So if you see me swatting, just know. I'm battling over here. I had to go on Amazon Go and have some freaking traps delivered immediately. But, yeah, we're going to let some of y'all file in before we really kick things off here. But we're going to be taking a look. Every Tuesday, we're going to be diving into fantasy because I know we got teams. I know we got multiple teams that we're going to have to be taking a look at, doing some work on, making some tweaks. And I don't want to be the only one that's going to be giving up my secrets. So just know, if you guys want to talk a little bit of fantasy every Tuesday evening, this is a place to do it. This is exactly where we're going to do it. As I mentioned, CD Picks, what's up? Loco in the building. How you do? We're talking fantasy on Tuesdays, baby. We got the waiver wire coming up. And like I was saying in my post, we don't move the needle without each other. So later on, after I kind of go and do a little deep dive on what I found, I want to know what y'all are looking at because you can help me. We can all help each other. Kitch, Picks, what's up? Shmoney, what's good? Mick Sneak, what's good? Colin Covers, we're all up. We're all up, fam. We are all the way up. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, and then we're going to start talking about Week 2. Week 2, pretty solid. We could do a little review on some bets. Yeah, we could do that. We could do a little review on some bets. Parlay Safari, I know you know. I know you know what Bad Bunny is, Parlay. I know you know what Bad Bunny is. Jaden, Tua is a good look. Elite Gambino, how you doing, brother? Hovey, Debo was definitely free. Saquon got us to the finish line. I was bummed about Saquon. I thought that two guys, it was Saquon over rushing, Debo over rushing, we get us there. But Saquon had 72. We needed him to have 75. We're going to wait just a little bit. Yeah, it's Jimmy G season. We're right back at it. Mush, you're going to head out to the San Diego Open later tonight to cheer on my boy Kudla. No, I'm not. Is that some fuzzy green ball stuff? Because Lord knows that ain't me, babe. Lord knows that ain't me. Si Juedes, what's going on? How you doing? Chef T, what's good? Amon-Ra St. Brown is absolutely him. I'm telling you, these fruit fly traps cannot show up soon enough. I've killed about 20. I don't even have any fruit in here. Don't know what's going on. Survivor play. We'll get to survivor play. We can talk a little survivor play. Abso-freaking-lutely. We can talk a little survivor play. But let's take a little gander back at week 2 before we get things going, all right? Week 2, Mima was the theme of the day on Sunday. How about those Jets? Making me look and feel like an absolute genius for putting just a sprinkle of a ball on the line. Putting a little sprinkle of a ball on the line. I don't know if y'all noticed, but it's Kevin Stefanski, right? Head coach of the Browns. He had his family on the field. Minute and a half left. Guess what? Fat lady's not singing yet, Kevin. Fat lady is not singing yet, coach. And you had your kids. You had your little boys behind you, and you guys lost. That's tough. Shout out those Jets bettors that were rocking with me. And how about this Detroit Lions team? I think we got to take them serious. We're talking fantasy. We're talking Amon-Ra St. Brown. If you have him on your team, you are beyond hyped. We want to talk quarterbacks. I'm going to get to Jared Goff. Because I think a lot of people assume that this was going to be absolutely a run first team, and we're not seeing the Lions run the ball. Big coach DC is trusting his boy Jared Goff to get it going. We had the Saints and the Bucks. That was a boring ass game. I thought we'd see a lot more offense between the Panthers and the Giants. That game went way under. McCaffrey got his points up, though. Finally. You knew he was going to break one off. And Saquon, I mean, dude, that Giants offensive line, we already know. So what I want to do is let's just talk about waiver wire looks. We'll get back to what happened last week. Well, let's talk about some waiver wire looks, and we're going to start with the receivers. And if you do not have, or if you're in a league where Garrett Wilson is not rostered, you're a very lucky man or woman. You're very lucky if you're able to grab Garrett Wilson. Now, ESPN leagues, he's only rostered in 69% of them. He's 9th in the league with 22 targets, and 8 of those targets in the red zone, which are massive. You want deep ball targets, you want red zone targets, because what's better than getting in that goddamn end zone, okay? Garrett Wilson, kind of a popular pick. You're going to hear everyone talking about you got to pick him up. I'm sure he's already rostered in most of our leagues here in the Bookit community. Another guy that was probably rostered but might be stepping into a weekly start is rookie Chris Olave. What do you guys think about this kid, Chris Olave, on the Saints? He's on my team, and he was started. 13 targets in week 2 alone. I think he was the most targeted receiver on that team. More targets than Jarvis Landry, more targets than Mike Thomas. And most of those targets are on routes run that are more than 25 yards. So those are big points. His next 3 weeks, Chris Olave is facing Carolina. He's facing Minnesota. He's facing Seattle. I would take a look at Chris Olave. Absolutely, 100%. If you can grab him, make sure you do. I need to see in chat right now how many of you are going to the waiver wire or have already and clicked on Dallas Cowboys receiver Noah Brown. Kid's the truth. CeeDee Lamb 2.0. 14 targets so far this year. He led the Cowboys in everything that you could imagine last week. And I think it's one of those things where CeeDee Lamb is going to have to really prove that he is a WR1. He's getting all of the attention, and that opens it up for whoever's else on the field for the Cowboys. Noah Brown is definitely that guy, LC. 14 targets. He's 18th in fantasy points among receivers already. And guess what? He's only rostered in 32% of ESPN fantasy leagues. Now, his next 3 weeks, he's got the Giants, the Commanders, and the Rams. I'm anticipating him to continue to get touches. Noah Brown, someone for us to take a look at, without a doubt. One name that, if you've been riddled by injuries, I don't know if anyone saw my tweet on one team. Chris Godwin, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman. Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Michael Pittman, all on one team, all injured, whether it's week to week or for several weeks, screwed. So now I'm looking at guys that could even make it to the roster, and I don't know if anyone's going to be familiar, and you guys say, all right, this guy is absolutely insane. Richie James on the Giants. 12 targets so far this year. I think he has 10 receptions. So he's good for around 10 or 11 points if you're super desperate and you need to have a receiver potentially in the flex position, or you can stash this guy because he's out targeting just about everyone on the Giants team with Kenny Golladay not seeing the field, not doing a damn thing. That's Richie James. And asking Noah who? It's Noah Brown. It's Noah Brown on the Cowboys. Noah Brown on the Cowboys. Richie James, probably a certified WR2 on the Giants. And that's a team that's going to give you some garbage points. That's a team that's going to give you some garbage points. And I think with the way things have been going, I will take 10 or 11 points and let them get in the end zone and have a 17-point week. But give me consistent 10 and 11 points, and I can rely on you when I got a guy like Zeke Elliott in my flex. Don't even get me started on Zeke Elliott. Come on. I think Richie James is a good look for us, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Going down the line, has anyone been hearing about this kid, Greg Dortch? Greg Dortch on the Cardinals. Greg Dortch on the Cardinals. This guy's rostered in less than 3% of teams so far, but he has 13 targets. Now, it's a little bit short term, but this kid is going to show out, and he's been showing out. And when you have Rondale Moore that's injured, you're going to be waiting on D-Hop. You got rid of Christian Kirk. Greg Dortch is someone to keep up and stash because right now we got to be making moves. We got to be making moves at the beginning of the year because you're not really going to find a lot of waiver wire pickups as the year goes on because a lot of people are presenting themselves in this first month of football. It's got 4 more good weeks left before D-Hop. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to admit something. I don't like to admit it. It hasn't worked out as a total. However, the Commanders are a high-powered fantasy-producing team. Carson Wentz is top 3 in the league. I had Curtis Samuel. I had Logan Thomas. I think those were the 3. So we're going to talk about Curtis Samuel right now because he's looking like he could end the year in the top 20s. He's 14th in the league right now at 20 targets already. He has the 8th most fantasy points. He's only rostered in 67% of the league right now. And his next 3 games are against the Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Titans. The Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Titans. And I think that the Commanders are just going to be involved in somewhat of a shootout every single week. Every single week. Curtis Samuel, 2 great games. I'm really hoping that he can keep them up because I need that production. And I'm fortunate enough to have picked him up last week. But if you can grab Curtis Samuel, absolutely go and grab him. The dude is 8th in the league right now in points so far. Staying on that team, Jahan Dotson, man. Jahan Dotson has 3 touchdowns so far. So that's obviously going to impact his fantasy production, where he ranks among players. But he's 15th. He's only rostered in 60% of the leagues. Now, obviously, he's very touchdown driven, but he's worth a stash. He certainly is worth a stash. Yeah, Devin Duvernay is another one, man. Devin Duvernay is going off. Devin Duvernay is absolutely going off. And the Ravens are a team that you should have as many people as you can because they're going to be putting up points. They're certainly going to be putting up points. The D-Gen started Samuel because didn't know Gabe Davis' situation. Ended up paying off big time. Yeah, man. Absolutely. I was stoked to pick him up. I think he had like 22 points for us? 22 points? Come on now. Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar could be worth a pickup, man. Kendrick Bourne is kind of signed off. Nelson has been showing off a little bit so far this year. kind of a stinky ass offense. I don't trust Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, who are kind of like co-headlining the offensive coordinator role. I don't know about that, but man, injuries have been popping off and nonstop. They've been nonstop. I'm gonna pull some stuff up here for us real quick. Here, I'm also gonna be. If you guys want to pop up here, feel free to pop up. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Like I said, we all move the needle together. We all move the needle together. So if you want to pop up here, you want to talk about what you're seeing, you want to talk about your fantasy team, please feel free. Knock on the door. I'll let you in. I'll let you in because I can't be giving away all my secrets. You know what I mean? I'm in a league with half of the Bookit guys here. And so I want to see what you guys are seeing. I want to hear about what you guys are seeing out there and what you're targeting and what you're seeing. Moving right along, though, man, tight ends. I got real freaking lucky, and I was able to grab Tyler Higbee last week, slide him into my starting tight end role, and hopefully he's going to be locked in for the rest of the year because I was the idiot that drafted Cole Kmet. Okay. Cole Kmet. I think he has 1, maybe 2 targets this year. Cole Kmet, how you doing? You're gone. You're going to be on waiver wire throughout the year. Tyler Higbee is leading all tight ends right now with 20 targets, 4 in the red zone. He's only rostered in 65% of the leagues. And with his next 3 games coming up, being against the Cardinals, the Niners, and Dallas, and Stafford is proven to be a fan of this kid, I'm rostering him. I'm stoked about it. He could very well end the year in the top 7, top 8 as far as tight ends are concerned. Tyler Higbee. In another league, I also picked up Gerald Everett. And I was shocked to see Gerald Everett is only rostered in 30% of leagues right now, you guys. Go out there and put your claims in for Gerald Everett. Might be a week late. You might be a week late getting to Gerald Everett, but if you can, absolutely go grab him. It's definitely unbelievable, especially with Keenan Allen out of there. With Keenan Allen out, Gerald Everett needs to be rostered and started in every single one of our leagues here. So I picked up Higbee in one league because I drafted Kmet in all 3 teams. I thought he was going to show out. I have 3 fantasy teams. I put Kmet as my tight end on all of them. And guess what? He's not even on the bench on any of them. We'll see you later. He's gone. I grabbed last week Gerald Everett. He showed out. Tyler Higbee. He showed out. And this next guy, Logan Thomas. Come on. Rostered in only 13% of leagues. 14th in the league with 11 targets and 2 of those in the red zone. I believe both were for touchdowns. Give me those red zone targets, especially at the tight end position, because I think we can all agree the tight end position is certainly the thinnest in fantasy. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Looking at guys like Tyler Conklin, huh? Tyler Conklin had a hell of a game. He's 4th in the league at 16 targets. He got some looks in the red zone. He's 9th as far as fantasy production is so far on the Jets. And for a team that, what's been going on with Elijah Moore? I think this is a good spot to pick him up. He's only rostered in 2% of the leagues. So if you're getting beat up at the tight end position, which I think a lot of us are, give Tyler Conklin a look, huh? Give Tyler Conklin a little look. I can't believe I'm going to say this. But I am starting to really like Evan Ingram on the Jags. Again, these are guys that maybe you're not going to pop right into starting, but we know that you need to roster as many people that can contribute, tie them into some kind of trade package so we can keep it moving. So we can go out and get a bigger name. But Evan Ingram is a guy that, listen, he's only rostered in 16%. He's 13th at the position with 12 targets. I think he had something like 8 targets last week, 7 receptions for close to 60 yards. Man, I'd be happy with that at the tight end position. I absolutely would. I absolutely would. Evan Ingram, 12 targets. He should be available for you. I think that's someone that you go out and grab, let it nestle, because I mean, listen, if you're in a league of 12, you're in a league of 14, there really aren't that many tight ends right now that are producing. Evan Ingram has proven through 2 weeks that he and T-Law are kind of getting along. And he doesn't really have a whole lot of competition as far as the Jags are concerned. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, man, I'm not opposed to having Ingram on the team one bit. Taking a look at the running backs now. Listen, as long as DeAndre is somewhat banged up, I think that you can absolutely consider not only grabbing Jamal Williams, but you could even toss him in a flex position. And I thought that he would be rostered in a lot more teams, a lot more leagues out there. Guys, he's only rostered in 43% of leagues on ESPN. He leads the league at the running back position in red zone carries. Okay. You got that? Jamal Williams leads the league in red zone carries at the running back position with 9 of them and 2 touchdowns. I mean, you can compare that to, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Who's out there that just gobbles up touchdowns and takes them away from maybe that lead back? But hey, man, that lead back is going to have to gain 60 yards to make up for that 1 touchdown that RB2 took. If you had DeAndre, would you trade for Williams? No, I'm not going to trade DeAndre Swift for Williams. And if you're asking would I trade DeAndre Swift for Williams, that's a crazy question. But if I had DeAndre, would I trade for Williams? Yes. But I'm not trading DeAndre. Yeah. I mean, of course. People may not be catching on to him quite just yet. But yeah, absolutely. You got to try and have that handcuff there. 100%. 100%. If we want to talk about a game real quick, can we backtrack? Can we talk about Baltimore, Miami? What a game. What a freaking game. I was on Miami money line, so I absolutely loved all of it. But if you're a Ravens fan or you're a Ravens bettor, holy shit. Holy shit. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up this game is the running back position on the Dolphins team is something that I've been trying to bring a little bit more attention to, because you have Chase Edmonds there, but you have Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert, obviously injury-ridden, but it's Mike McDaniel at the helm, and he's been the offensive mind of the Niners. He's familiar with Raheem Mostert, and guess who had more plays on the field than Chase Edmonds? It's Raheem Mostert. His carries doubled from week 1 to week 2. His snap count increased by 36%, and he had 3 more snaps than Chase Edmonds. Raheem Mostert is only rostered in 51% of the league so far. And at a position where you need depth, I would definitely consider Raheem Mostert. Is he a starter? He could certainly become one. Is he a potential RB1 on that team? Sure. But someone that deserves to be at least on your bench before things get a little crazy, I think you got to definitely look at Raheem Mostert on the waiver wire, because that's all we're really talking about right now is people to go after on the waiver wire. A boring look, but one that will get you receptions. I mean, I had to start Nyheim Hines, guys. I had to start Nyheim Hines in week 2. Crook, what's going on? Let me chat with y'all real quick. What's good? UPS Paul, what's good? Raheem Mostert got listed as RB1 on the depth chart. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Mostert's health is definitely always a concern, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But guess what? Anything could happen at any point. RIP to Trey Lance's ankle. That shit hurt. That shit hurt. Yes, sir. And the guy played at Lamar with 48 points. Just absolutely gross, D-Gen. Absolutely gross. D-Gen hours. What is really good? Let me get this out there if y'all want to come up and chat with the kid. Because I got a couple secrets. I don't know if I'm ready to tell y'all about them yet. Thank you for the jewel break. No one said it. I just want to thank y'all for it. Jamal Williams or Mostert? Whoa. Jamal Williams or Mostert? That is a good one, EMAC. That is a hell of a question right there. That is a hell of a question right there, EMAC. Jamal Williams or Mostert? I think I'd have to go with Jamal Williams potentially. No. I'm going to say it with my chest. It's Raheem Mostert. I'd rather have Raheem Mostert than Jamal Williams. That could be a real cold take. But we'll see. We'll see. Mush, I'll hop on in a little. Post our waiver wire pickers of the week. Sure. Absolutely go for it. Let me pull up so we can kind of take a look at some stuff together, boys. All right. Get us a little zoom here. Shout out Cooper Kupp, doing Cooper Kupp things, of course. At the wide receiver position, we're going to talk about all of them. Yeah, I need to go have a conversation with Preston Lopez and see what I can do for Tyreek Hill. Sure as hell would have rather had him on my team than I may have even drafted Zeke earlier than him. I don't think so. Round 3, round 4? Round 4? Juju kind of fell off. But again, if you guys can pick up Garrett Wilson, please do it. He's going to pop all the way off, especially over these next 3 weeks. Please go grab Garrett Wilson if you're fortunate enough to have him on waivers. Can you do that? What I want to look at, because I think it can make or break a week, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's defenses. You can have a defense come out there and give you 50 points. That's going to help you get across that finish line, without a doubt. Mush, with your team being depleted as hell in the Bookit League, what changes have you made? All right, here, I'll show you what I had to do. First off, I need to replace Tom Brady. First things first. I had to start Naheem Hines. Alvin Kamara, I got to try and package him. I got Zeke. I got Godwin hurt. Trey Lance. I mean, I'd show you the pending moves that I had, but got to kind of keep that under wraps. But I got guys like Richie James already on my team. A stash player that I haven't brought up yet is Isaiah Likely. Now, I drafted Isaiah Likely. I'm big on Isaiah Likely. I think if Mark Andrews goes down, you know what I mean, you're going to already want to have him on your team. It's a deep, just bottom of the bench stash just to see what happens. I don't know how much longer I'll hold him, but I'm big on Isaiah Likely. Without a doubt. Yeah, bro. How you doing? That's the name of the squad. Had to be. Absolutely had to be. But I dropped Cole Kmet. I picked up Tyler Higbee ahead of this week. I didn't start A-Rob last week. Hopefully that, doubles down. As a Niners fan, it pains me that I'm starting 2 Rams. But listen, we're here to win. We are here to win. Wow, we have an absolute demon gremlin in the queue. Holy smokes. What do we owe the good fortune, my guy? What's up, Brooke?
What's up, Mush? What's up, chat?
How we doing, brother? How we doing? Welcome.
I'm good. I just got done a workout at the gym. I got my protein shake right here. So,
There he is. Good
yes,
old
sir.
core power. Get your protein up. You know what? You should be having as many grams of protein as pounds that you weigh.
Mm-hmm.
To really level up like that, Gremlin. It's good to see.
Yeah, of
Gremlin,
course.
what's going on with your fantasy team right now, man?
I got a couple of them, but in the fantasy team that I'm in with the couple surgeons like Ali and Parlay Safari and Jake Hazen. Last week, it sucked. It was pretty bad. I had Lamar Jackson who got me 42, but then the rest of my team did nothing. Fournette got 4, ETN did nothing, Justin Jefferson got 10, and then the Dolphins defense just to make it that much better with -8.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah, see. Are you a Dolphins guy randomly? Why do I
No,
feel like
I'm
you're
I'm a Pats guy. I'm
okay?
a
Yeah,
Pats
yeah,
fan.
yeah. Because are you also in New Hampshire?
Yeah, with Nikki.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, man. Dolphins D. That was a scary game. That was a scary game. I mean, they came out with the dub, but there you have it. Oh, are you in a league with Hovey?
I am. I did send him a pretty bad trade. I'm not gonna lie, but
I mean, dude, that's fine. You always got to try and sneak some in there. Who are you targeting this week, if you're brave enough to say? Who are some guys that are kind of catching your eye?
on the waiver wire, there's honestly I'm not a big fan, but it's mainly some of the top guys in the wire. Robert Woods is actually on waivers right now, which is kind of crazy, but I mean he hasn't done anything yet. Um, I mean I kind of like him. Obviously, he's the wide receiver one on that team. Sterling Shepard's there, which you kind of know what you're getting out of him. You're 6 to 12 points a week kind of guy. And then there's Marvin Jones, who's the same as Shepard. And then there's Noah Brown, who I actually kind of like. He stepped up in the Cowboys offense, and clearly he's shown he can be good with or without Dak Prescott. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where he and Cooper Rush probably saw a whole lot of each other in camp, and I believe he's leading the Cowboys right now in targets and receptions and receiving yards. I could be off. That may have just been last week. But yeah, man, Noah Brown is absolutely someone that can help you for the next couple of weeks while Gallup is still injured and banged up. So I think that that is a good look. Are you gonna keep the Dolphins D, or do you think you're going to keep cycling through and flex defense for the year?
Um, I'm probably going to keep them. They are facing the Bills this week, which kind of sucks. They're probably going to get 0 points, but I
Yeah,
their
that's tough, dude.
yeah, their schedule is pretty favorable, and I do like that defense. They were like ranked 4 last year, and like
Yeah.
near the second half of the season, they got like Houston, Cleveland, Chicago, the Pats, the Jets, like all those bad teams. So I'm gonna keep them. I got them in the last round, so what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, call me crazy, but one defense that I would look at. See, I got the Niners, and
Yeah,
I'll probably be keeping the Niners defense throughout the year. But if you can go grab Chiefs D, Chiefs are playing
Chiefs.
Indianapolis, and
Yeah.
Indianapolis has allowed the fifth most points to defenses, and the two defenses that they've gone up against are the Jags and the Texans.
Oh yeah.
So is that going to continue? I don't know, but if you're looking at the Dolphins going up against Buffalo, it might be something to look at. It might be something to look at without a doubt.
Yeah,
Much do I
for
start,
sure.
Jeff? Go ahead, Gremlin.
No, no, that's for sure. I'll
Yeah.
definitely look at that.
Yeah, something to consider. iWaves is saying trade Keenan Allen right now before he comes back and pops off. So the way that I'm looking at that is trade him at his low, trade him at his bottom. I don't know, man. Trade
I
him
mean,
before he comes back and trade for Keenan Allen. I'm an idiot. I'm literally an idiot. Hey, iWaves. I'm
I
an
don't know if you
idiot.
can buy
Trade
low on Keenan
for
Allen with his
Keenan Allen.
injury, but
Well, yeah, I got Keenan Allen on my team, so I think that's why I read that wrong. Hufflepuff's Joy. Mush. What do I think of Cam Akers? I think he's relevant. I think you go get Daryl Henderson Jr. and you forget about him.
That's what I got.
Cam Akers is not the guy. They're not a fan of Cam Akers down in LA. I think you saw that in some clips of him failing to block for an injured Matt Stafford. So I think that you cut your losses there. Mush, do I start Jeff Wilson or Damian Jones? Man, I was hesitant on picking up Jeff Wilson. The Niners did just move Marlon Mack up from the practice squad, so he'll get some looks. We have a high ankle sprain with our rookie, Tyrion Davis Price, but we have Jeff Wilson that is certainly going to be getting touches for us with Marlon Mack and holy shit. What the fuck is his name? It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. I keep wanting to say Jeff Wilson. It's not Jeff Wilson. Watson. Watson? It's not Watson. Someone will help us out. All right, Kirk. Who do you have? Jordan Mason. There's my guy, Jordan Mason. Thank you, free flyer. Thank you, free flyer. But yeah, I would say, where's my guy that asked a question? Either way, I would say you could feel a little bit more confident with Jeff Wilson because the Broncos D has looked pretty suspect blocking or preventing rushing yards. So that's that. Yeah, Crook, I appreciate you popping up. I'm going to toss you back in studio. We're going to see what DC has to say about what's going on there. DC Draft Capital IG page with maybe about 30,000 followers. They got a ton of data. So DC, what is good, my friend? How are you?
How we doing?
How you doing? We're doing good, man. We're doing good. We're just trying to, make all of our teams better here and have a little gander at some fantasy opportunities. But what are you guys seeing as far as waiver wire targets here in week 3?
Well, first of all, I want to say congratulations.
Oh yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. Well, a little bit of a while coming, but yeah, we're very hyped on this side. Very hyped on this side.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know you've been around forever, so I feel like it's well deserved.
Appreciate you.
And then
thank you.
For waivers, we just posted actually our we usually post like a quarterback, 3 running backs, 3 receivers, tight end, and defense.
Okay.
So for quarterback, we have Wentz. Like he's still very under-owned and he's played pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Curtis Samuel's been really well. Dotson from Penn State. Brian Robinson should be coming back soon. So they have a decent amount of options there. And they're not the best team, so they're going to have a pretty good game script in most scenarios. Mm-hmm. So we have Wentz for a quarterback. We had him last week too, but he's just still under-owned. Running backs. The Cardinals situation is weird because I'm not 100% sure where James Conner is injury-wise. But we have both Darrell Williams, the old Chiefs running back, and then
I was going to bring him up.
Yeah, we have Eno Benjamin as well because we don't really know who's going to be getting. I feel like it's going to be 50-50 if Connor's out. There's not really one of those guys who I think is like dominant over the other.
I was going to bring up Darrell Williams, and from what I'm seeing, it is looking more like it's going to be Darrell Williams in that position because of his pass protection.
Yeah.
I think that's huge, especially for a young guy like Eno. You want someone in there that kind of knows what they're doing, keep the man on his feet. So I think Darrell Williams could be a little bit. If you had to pick between the two, and you're looking at your waiver wire, I think it's Darrell Williams to go and grab.
Yeah, just the experience is probably the main thing, at least to start off. We also have Jordan Mason. I know you brought him up while I was in. I think he's just like if you're like in a deep league or like you have like Jeff Wilson or you have Elijah Mitchell, it's just worth like a stash. And then we also have Garrett Wilson. I think it's one of our biggest.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you have the opportunity, he's a must add. He's absolutely a must add.
Me going into the season, I expected Elijah Moore to be the wide receiver 1. And it's a little early to call it, but Garrett Wilson is looking really good.
Bro, unbelievable. And listen, the Browns defense is nice. Especially their defensive backs. They're solid. They're not weak by any means, and he absolutely went off. And how about Joe Flacco? having a dynasty year so far.
Sleeping. He's. Did you see the top 3
Yeah.
NFL leaders in passing yards?
Tua, Carson, Joe freaking Flacco.
Dude, who would have thought?
No.
If you told me that
Not
like
me.
2 weeks ago, I would have called you crazy.
Tua, Flacco, and Wentz leading the league in passing so far. I'm glad that you are on that. I actually picked up Carson Wentz and started Carson Wentz in a league over Brady last week.
Last week I would have too, probably.
Had to. I mean, dude, bro, what the hell is going on with Brady, man? I'm literally about to have to, in another league, start someone in front of him. He's 29th right now at the position.
Yeah, it's just the receivers. Like, there's a lot of injuries just in Tampa. Like, now you have Evans suspended. On top of that, Godwin's been iffy. Like, they're also just a decent team in general. So, like, the game script for fantasy-wise isn't really, like, fantastic. But I think he'll be fine. Once everyone's healthy, he'll start doing good. But the O-line is a little banged up. It's a concern of mine.
Sure. And they lost they lost like 3 people on their line, right?
Yeah.
They lost Kappa, they lost Jensen, maybe one other, but I know they definitely lost.
At least 2. Yeah.
Yeah, brutal.
And then we also have Noah Brown from the Cowboys.
Yeah.
We thought he would be a decent ad. I don't have
and the fact that he's only rostered in 32%, that number is probably going to jump up a significant amount, I would assume, after this week. So definitely go grab him while you still can. And then, again, his next 3 matchups are the Giants, the Commanders, and the Rams. I don't see the Cowboys having much of a lead this year. So that just means they're going to be throwing the ball even more. And, yeah, I think Noah Brown is certifiably one to go and get.
For sure. And then I think we have how many? We have like 1 receiver, a tight end, and a defense. We usually do like 8 or 9. Nico Collins for the Texans.
Yeah.
He's still pretty under-owned from what we saw. It's just like I've been talking about. Game script is one of the biggest things in fantasy that people don't like utilize. Like I remember back in like 2016, Blake Bortles was like a top 3 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah.
It's because the Jags were just down every week, and those like Blake Bortles would have like 10 points going into the 4th quarter, and then he had like 30. Like it was crazy. But yeah, Collins, second option on the Texans. They have not been able to run the ball whatsoever with Pierce or Burkhead. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But you have Cooks at the 1. He'll be on pretty trash corners at the 2. So that's what we see.
Nice, man. Appreciate you popping on and dropping some knowledge. One guy, I don't even think anyone from Bookit is paying attention. If they are, so be it. One guy that popped out to me when I was doing some research is a receiver on the Colts. So Alec Pierce with those 2 drops in the end zone, I don't know how much longer they're going to have or like what kind of leash they're going to give him. Typically, if you kind of struggle like that early, they're like, all right, well, let's have you prove it on the practice field before we give you these kinds of opportunities. But this kid, Ashton Dulin, led the team last week in targets, receptions, and yards. And with Pittman banged up, with Alec Pierce with his concussion, I mean, he already has 13 targets on the year. And chat, Ashton Dulin on the Colts is only rostered in 2.4% of leagues. His next 3 weeks are the Chiefs, the Titans, and the Broncos. Man, the Colts are really tough to watch. But, dude, I will take leading a team in targets, receptions, and yards all day. Whatever it's going to be.
Yeah, it's a great value spot.
Yeah. So
I think if you're in like
Ashton Dulin is someone to take a look at for sure for those deeper leagues, which I'm only in. I'm in a 12 and then in 2 14s, bro. 14 team leagues are so tough.
Dude, I was in a 20-man league once.
No thanks.
It's one of the hardest things I've ever done.
No thanks. And I know that Chelmeister is even in a freaking 32-person league.
Yeah, those are crazy.
32-person league. Don't know why or how you would do that, but yeah, he's in a 32-person league, man.
I don't even know what pick I would want in that scenario. Like, do you want the first pick, you get Jonathan Taylor, and then you have to wait till 64? Or do you want to get
Well, yeah, and I mean, it might even be a 2-quarterback league, so it's like
super flex too. So like, if you have like the 32nd pick, you're gonna end up with like Danny Dimes as your first pick.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know why you would organize that or sign up for that. I'm gonna kind of go through and look at some more matchups, DC, but feel free to kick it in the studio for a little bit. All right, brother?
Sure. Sounds good.
Boss, appreciate you popping on. Yeah, again, if you guys aren't following Draft Capital on IG, pretty large following, solid data as far as fantasy is concerned. You do want to give them a gander. Let me pull this back up for us real quick. All right, chat. Look at how tough both of these teams are. And I came out being pretty high as far as what kind of potential these guys could do. And first off, hey, what are we doing having Kirk at the helm? Huh? What are we doing? Here's a squad with all my boys banged up. Hopefully I can bring them back, but look at what I got here. I got Kirk, Ayuk, Curtis Samuel with Keenan, Pittman, and Godwin. So that's what we call a lot of trade capital. Hopefully we can make something happen. This is Bezos or Bozos. Chef T. Yo, I know I got a lot of my BOB boys in here. Come and get them. I got 6 receivers that I'm sure you'd want to have on your team with A.J. Dillon and Tony Pollard. Let's talk shop. I'm looking at the quarterback position because I got Kirked once, and it's fool me once, shame on, what is it? You? Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. Well, you ain't going to fool me 3 times. Ola, I need a tight end mush. Talk to me nice. You could come chat with me, Mac Miller. You could come chat with me. Let's see. I want us to look at streaming defenses because there aren't many teams that you're going to keep the defense for the whole year. So looking at matchups that we can hop on. Is it the Saints going up against Baker Mayfield in Carolina? Man, Carolina, I think, is due, boys. I think Carolina is due. Are they going to go 0-3? That would be tough. Are the Saints going to drop 2 at home? No, they're in Carolina. Are the Saints going to drop 2 in a row? That could happen. Cowboys D, I don't really want much to do there. I think you're good to grab a couple turnovers from Jacksonville. But what surprised me, if we're looking at who has scored the most points, look at the Jags and the Falcons in the top 5. The Falcons going up against Seattle. Falcons were the worst team as far as fantasy is concerned last year. 5 sacks, a safety, a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions. Geno Smith has like an absolutely absurd completion percentage so far this year, so it might be kind of tough, but the Falcons? Come on. Falcons could be a look. Falcons could definitely be a look. Baker definitely does look like dog shit, Crook. That is the truth. The Eagles, they're available in this league. What are the Eagles going to do against the Commanders? And the fact that they're ranked 7th after week 1, but they had Kirk last night. They had Kirk for breakfast, lunch, and dinner last night. And we know that Wentz is good for at least 1 pick. We know Wentz is going to toss at least a turkey to the Eagles. Vikings, Seattle, no. Yeah, man, KC, boys. I think KC is a defense to target. KC should be a defensive target. Until Matt Ryan and that team proves that they are going to stop turning over the ball, I think you can rely on KC to handle some biz. But yeah, Chef, I saw you with the Bears, man. I'm kind of with it, dude. I'm honestly with it. Who would I rather have, ETN or Damian Pierce? Probably ETN. Just more of a. I mean, dude, that's a tough decision to have to try and make there. But I would have to lean ETN. They both stink. I would probably cut them both. But I would probably lean ETN if I absolutely had to. I mean, look, now you're getting to the bottom of the barrel. You got the Jets. But what is Burrow doing, huh? Joe Shiesty, come back to us, man. We're ready for you. We are ready for you. Quarterbacks. Carson freaking Wentz. I might have to pick him up and stash him. Wait, is this in the Bezos league? Oh, yeah. Guess what? Y'all can watch me do this here. Who am I dropping? That is a tough one. I'll give you guys a sneak peek later. All right, boys. That's what we got. So in review, I highly advise, if you're short at tight end, go grab Tyler Higbee right now. Rostered in only 65% of the leagues. He's leading the league at the tight end position in targets. He has 4 targets in the red zone. 4 of his 20 are in the red zone. Look at Higbee. Definitely look at Gerald Everett. If you guys didn't get on that last week, Gerald Everett, I was able to pick him up. Thank goodness. He's only rostered in 30% of the leagues, guys. And then my other top one would either be Logan Thomas or Evan Ingram, man, because Evan Ingram is getting looks. He's getting looks. They're not in the red zone, but I mean, 7 receptions and 60 yards on a Jags team that will be throwing the ball a ton. I really like that. And it's with Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson coached Zach Ertz all those years. He's the offensive guy. So Evan Ingram could be a decent look if you absolutely have to. And it's such a weird thing to say. Take a look at Evan Ingram. At the receiver, just review, make sure that you guys can try and grab Curtis Samuel if he's available. Noah Brown is going to be a good look. If you can't get those guys, Richie James has been too consistent to not have at the bottom of the bench, giving us 10 and 11 points week over week. Jahan Dotson is getting in the end zone, but is that going to be sustainable? And Chris Olave as well. If you're able to get him, go grab Chris Olave. Running backs, 2 sneaky guys that I like if you're able to get them, Jamal Williams and Raheem Mostert. And at defense, go check out the Chiefs. Yeah, Nicky Parm, dude. I got Cole Kmet. I cut him after the first week. You had 1 target. I'm not going to wait around. And I think Justin Fields has attempted 28 throws. He has 28 passes attempts. I'm not rocking with Cole Kmet. So yeah, Nicky Parm, dude. Look at Logan Thomas, Evan Ingram, definitely Tyler Higbee. That's my number 1 option, without a doubt. Tyler Higbee at tight end. Tua or Jimmy off waivers? Tua. Jimmy he's not a fantasy guy. He's going to win us games, but he's not a fantasy guy. It's Tua, without a doubt. Tua or Jimmy rest of season. Yeah, it's Tua. I'm going to go with Tua for sure. Yeah, I mean, feel free to send over these either ors, guys. And, as the season goes on, we're going to try and get more graphics, more things to look at. So you're not just looking at me. So you're not just hearing me. I'm going to do my part to try and bring in some other minds in the fantasy world. So again, it's not just me. Am I a fantasy football expert? I'm trying to do some research so you guys don't have to. But, last week I picked up Higbee. I picked up Logan Thomas. I picked up Curtis Samuel. I picked up Carson Wentz. I picked up Gerald Everett. and I got a week ahead. So I'm here to help you guys out. I'm here to be able to, so I can talk about it because I got them. But I'll start recording these in public so we can see, if it was a boom or a bust. Little Boosie goes crazy. Yeah. So again, if you can get him, go get Higbee because he's going to be a stud at the tight end position for you guys. I can kind of release some of my notes for you guys to look at. Other than that, man, hey, it was a fun little hour. We're just going to keep it moving, keep growing with this thing. And you guys know the recipe. First you sprink, then you bank. Much love, guys. Appreciate you. Keep repping, huh? Keep repping. Good luck. I'm excited to see what moves you guys made. Feel free to tag me in anything that you guys do, and we'll just keep growing this thing out. Peace.